So in 2015, everything was great. I was in a good relationship. I was working for myself, running a small design studio, and I was literally traveling the world doing all these fun, exciting projects. But then 2016 happened. And to be honest, it was not so great. My name is Justin Shields, and I'm so curious about how to be happy when everything is falling apart around you. Now, if I'm the protagonist in my life, this honestly was the season finale. I'm freshly single. I have to move out of my studio space, and simultaneously, I've decided that I no longer want to run a design studio. Every part of my life is in a state of flux. 2016 was a turning point. It was a time for the greatest reset of my life. And honestly, I realized that I needed to take back ownership of my life. But first, I needed to rest. And so for 7 full days, I laid in bed and I didn't do much. I slept and ate a ton of food and kind of smoked a lot and tried to figure out what I wanted to do. I was genuinely numb. But what was beautiful about this time was that I realized I wanted to start from scratch and rebuild the kind of life I wanted to lead. Now, flash forward 5 years, and now I moved from New Orleans to Austin, Texas. I transitioned from agency world to tech, and my self initiated passion project has turned into a flourishing business, and I published a book. Now, don't get me wrong, my life is absolutely not perfect. There are bad days, there are annoying moments, and there are things that I'm consistently trying to change. But the thing is, this is a life that I designed for myself, and I actually kind of like it. And going through this process actually taught me the most important thing. If you want to make a change, you can do it. Step one, give yourself permission to feel all those feelings. It's okay to cry, it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to get mad. But once you've given yourself time to feel those feelings, you got to also allow yourself the capacity to move on, to move forward, to make new steps. The key for me is setting time limits. So it's like, I had my 7 days of sadness. 7 days of sadness is funny to me. So I had my 7 days of sadness, but I also was like, okay, I actually have to get back to living my real life. And so I would plaster on a smile and do the work week and only be sad on the weekends. And eventually, over time, I started to heal. Over time, I started to be able to not have to plaster on a smile, but instead, actually, I felt like I was becoming happier, honestly. Step two, you gotta lean on your friends, but here's the thing. Make sure you don't get in this endless loop of only talking about your problems all the time. Now, I'm thankful to be surrounded by some of the most incredible human beings. Like, the friends that I've been able to grow over the course of my life are incredible. And these beautiful people cooked meals for me, invited me on road trips, and did everything in their capacity to help me get out of this funk that I was in. They also asked me the difficult questions. They helped me to confront the problems that I was facing and some of the decisions that I'd made along the way. After talking things over and over again with my friends, I decided, okay, I've got to get out of this breakup loop and I've got to move on. I've got to start living. I've got to be who I want to be. Step three, honestly, you got to cut out the triggers that make you sad. Now, I actually feel really strongly about this. I think as humans, sometimes we can be gluttons for punishment. And we'll do things that like kind of force ourselves to like feel weird and bummed out. And so, if you're going through a breakup or you are going through a challenging time right now, I highly encourage you to cut that part of your life out. And that means stop following them on social media. That means stop checking their Instagram account. That means stop going on Facebook and looking them up. That means stop answering the text. Like, give yourself the space to move on and heal. Whenever possible, you've got to let go of those habits that actually hurt you. Now, let me be clear. Sometimes it feels good to have a good cry and put on some sad music, but like, you don't want to do that all the time. You don't want that to become your whole life. So, as I said, you got to feel those feelings, but then also give yourself permission to move on. You don't have to stay in that sadness. Number four, most importantly, you've got to focus on personal growth. Now, it might sound cliche, but The best time to work on yourself is when you're feeling your worst. When you're going through a trauma, you got to build yourself up. So that means focus on eating healthy. That means focus on reading books that provide you with joy. That means trying new things. Whether it's meditation or a new fitness plan or just making a whole bunch of new meals, you start doing these new things that provide you with a little bit of joy, and suddenly you're investing in yourself and you become more confident. There is nothing more powerful than feeling in control of your mind and body. And so, one of the things that I always encourage people to do is try meditation. And actually, this is the appropriate time to say, peace comes from within. And so, when you're going through these tough times, it's so important to look inward, journal, write, read, learn more about yourself, because that's how you can become whole again. Number 5, you gotta let go of the emotional weight by decluttering. If you're like me, your house is just full of a whole bunch of stuff, and like, while I try to keep it clean, there are stacks of papers, there are boxes, there are things that I've collected over the time that you just have to let go of. Everything we own has a certain amount of emotional weight, and going through the process of decluttering a space actually frees up mental space. In fact, cleaning out your home can set you up for allowing new energy into your life. So start with your living room and declutter the space. Throw all the extra stuff in boxes and get it out as fast as you can. And then do that for every room, your bedroom, your closets, and figure out how can you make room for the new that you need in your life. As you clear out the space, you assign special homes for your things that you own, and you decide the things that either are going to go to the trash or that you're going to donate. But most importantly, you got to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And my final tip is to give yourself a project. For me, I love channeling that anger, that sadness, that frustration into something tangible. If you're feeling the rage, you can make a mosaic out of shattered glass. The process of putting something together with something that's broken can be a metaphor for the experience that you're going through. If you've always wanted to write a book or start a podcast or create a comic book, now's the time to focus all that excess energy into making something for the world. Or you can focus on decorating your now clutter-free home. My point is that challenging moments oftentimes spark our greatest levels of creativity. So, there are 1,000 reasons to stay in bed all day and eat Pop-Tarts and watch Ugly Betty and feel bummed out about the world. Oh my God, I love Ugly Betty, y'all. It's so good. But the interesting thing is that despite it all, you deserve happiness. You can re-find your joy. You can reset your life. Things fall apart, and then we rebuild them. We figure out what we want to do. We figure out where we want to go, and we take the steps to get there. I believe in you.